From California, Ms. Kim is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, for holding this hearing, and I want to thank our witnesses for joining us today. You know, in California, we are in the golden age of fraud, with more types of fraud than Baskin-Robbins has flavors of ice cream. Sadly, our Governor Gavin Newsom has done little to stop this crisis. That is why I introduced the No More Scams Act that would create a federal strike force dedicated to investigating fraud involving federal dollars, bringing fraudsters to justice and clawing back stolen taxpayer dollars for the American people. I believe that we can learn a lot from the private sector and the great tools that you have deployed to combat fraud and scams to put the consumers first. So, I want to ask the first question to you, Mr. McDade. How do banks leverage third-party fraud tools to work across financial institutions and prevent scams and fraud?
Thank you for the question. In banks the size of EverBank, we're a mid-sized regional bank. We do have a national presence, and we do have a presence specifically in California. When we look at it, we don't necessarily have the resources to build our own AI constructs. We don't have the data scientists necessarily to do that. So we depend on groups like LexisNexis, EWS, and other consortium-based tools to help us find the fraud signals out in the environments that they touch, report those signals to us so we can collaborate back and forth in risk rate transactions and risk rate potentially fraudulent customers that are trying to break into the fraud ecosystem, and they're essential partners for us.
Sure. That's exactly why we need to do something similar at the federal level to streamline those efforts, right? And then there are third-party fraud fighters who are successful because they can dialogue with different financial institutions and connect different pieces of puzzle. Similarly, the task force that I envision through this legislation, No More Scams Act, will be able to utilize the resources of the different federal agencies and combine both the manpower and the information to track down those fraud. Mr. McDade, how does improved coordination across agencies can stop scams in the banking system?
So we are calling for a national task force on fraud, and we think that one of the things we need is alignment across all the different agencies and all the different law enforcement entities. The reality is, as I talked about in my testimony, when a fraud report is made by a consumer, there isn't necessarily a specific agency that they can point to pick it up, because different agencies have different mandates, and then you have the local law enforcement. I would say something that could be done in that direction would be the GUARD Act that's being talked about, which is similar to the HIDTA program that I worked with as a prosecutor, where we allow the federal resources to partner with the state resources for these $20,000 to $50,000 scams that are hitting our banks that don't rise to the level of federal prosecution, but are multi-jurisdictional, and so there's a difficulty with law enforcement approaching them.
Thank you, thank you. You know, one type of financial fraud that I've seen particularly focused on is the credit repair scams. And you know, I serve as the co-chair of the Financial Literacy and Wealth Creation Caucus, and I've seen the damage of those scams on consumers who are exploited by false promises involving their credit scores. To that end, I'm co-leading the Ending Scam Credit Repair Act to help end those types of scams and prevent bad actors from stealing money from hardworking American families. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask for unanimous consent to submit this letter that I got from American Financial Services Association, emphasizing the need to end the need for this type of legislation.
Without objection.
And I also have another letter from SIFMA to also support
Without
that.
objection.
Thank you very much. Let me shift the gears now. I want to also focus on romance scams and the work that is being done to crack down on them. I was proud to lead the effort to have the Treasury Department identify romance scams facilitators in Cambodia as money laundering entities. And while that was a great step in the right direction to cracking down on bad actors, we must also focus on ways to prevent those scams at the point of attack as well. So, Ms. McCune, how are credit unions like Park Community using methods such as consumer education to prevent romance scams before the money gets taken?
This is part of our broad consumer education efforts. We are aware that romance scams are a problem, not to make light in any way of the ways our members are victimized, but Keanu Reeves might need to come before the committee. Keanu Reeves is someone who gets pulled out as people posing as Mr. Reeves, and we've had multiple members who believed that they were in a relationship with Mr. Reeves. We know about them, we try to educate our members, and we move as quickly as we can when we see the signs of those.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentleman from Texas, Mr. Green, is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, a better name, a better title for this hearing would be Fighting Fraud